Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. So tonight we have an event called Young Adults and Mental Health: A Journey Towards Self-Empowerment. So my name is Ng Leroy. I am the program director for this event. We are from ULEAD or Uniten Leaders in Full. And I am from Uniten studying electrical power engineering. I am in my second year, first sem, and I hope this event goes well. So today with me I have Dr. Azmawaty, and she will be talking about. Let me get the script. So yeah, thank you to every one of you that is with us today. We are very pleased to welcome all of you that are with us now. And before that, I would like to thank all of my teammates and my team members that help us make this event a success. It has been a rough journey up and down with all the lockdown at home and everyone has to work from home. So everything has been quite rough as well because communication and teamwork has been a bit challenging through these lockdown times. I think you can agree, right, Dr. Aziz?
Yeah, I do agree to that.
Yes. Okay, so let me give you a short introduction to our speaker today. Her name is Dr. Azmawaty binti Muhammad Noor, and she is a senior lecturer from the Department of Educational Psychology and Counselling of Faculty of Education of University of Malaya. She has also been involved in many professional organisations such as Persatuan Psikologi Malaysia and also Psychological Support Team. She also has published a lot of books and academic journals regarding mental health. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Azmawaty to present her talk for today. Welcome, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Leroy. It has been a pleasure really working with you since yesterday. Yeah? I can see that you guys have actually put this together, and this is a really good effort. So the topic for today is, like Leroy mentioned earlier, is young adults and mental health, a journey towards self-empowerment. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you here today with me, and together with Leroy, we're actually going to talk and discuss further on what the journey towards self-empowerment and what are the issues that actually surrounds young adults. Yeah. Before that, Leroy, allow
Yes.
me to introduce. When we talk about young adult and mental health, what is young adult? Well, young adult is generally a person ranging in age from the late teens or early 20s to their 30s. Sometimes it depends on different countries, but according to the World Health Organization, young adult is from the early 20s up to 40 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your definitions and opinions, such as Erickson's stages of human development, like later we're going to talk about the human development, because I would like to describe to you further what are the stages that we all go through. Yeah. So for young adult, the stage that we go through precedes middle adulthood. So next, let's just go through this. But before that, Leroy, next
Yes. Oh,
slide.
next slide. Sure, sure.
Okay, so when we talk about, no, not this, overview of the presentation. So the previous one. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to talk, just share that with you what this is all about. Talks about the overview of my presentation. I'm going to talk about young adult health issues and healthcare needs, basically understanding what mental health is all about. We're going to also talk about self-empowerment, and we're going to have Q&A. Right after my presentation. But in between, we're going to have a short break of 10 minutes. Yeah. So next. Okay. So this is the stages of development, like I just mentioned earlier. So by Erik Erikson. So who is Erik Erikson? He's actually a German-American developmental psychologist and psychoanalyst known for his theory on psychological development of human being. He may be very famous. He's actually the most famous for coining the phrase identity crisis. You know, usually young adults or adolescents, this is when the period where they actually experience identity crisis. And you look into, or if you look at the slide, you can see the different stages, 8 stages that make up his theory. Yeah? But I'm not going to go through all. Basically, I'm just going to go quickly, going to bring you through stage 1 up to stage 5, and we will basically discuss more on stage 6. Stage 7 and 8, I will not discuss that, all right? So let's take a closer look at the background and the different stages that make up Erikson's psychosocial theory. So basically, what did Erikson's theory of psychosocial development entail? Yeah. So during this stage, every stage there is conflict. So each stage in Erikson theory builds on the preceding stages and paves the way for following periods of development. So you see how crucial it is for you to be, when you are in that period, for you to be developing well before you actually carry to the next stage. So Erikson believed that people experience a conflict that serves as a turning point in development. So let's just go to the first one. Stage 1 is trust versus mistrust. In this first stage, it talks about, it occurs between the birth and 1 year of age. So you have all passed through this stage. But basically at this point in development, the child is utterly dependent upon adult caregivers. So the outcome, just going to talk about the outcome, and you could actually understand why you actually behave the way you behave now, currently at this stage. So if a child successfully develops trust at this stage, the child will feel safe and secure in the world. Caregivers who are inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, or rejecting contribute to feelings of mistrust in the children under their care. So again, stage 1 is trust versus mistrust. So stage 2, let's go through this quickly. Autonomy versus shame and doubt. The second stage of Erikson's theory of psychosocial development takes place during early childhood and is focused on children developing a greater sense of personal control. What do I mean by this? At this point in development, children are just starting to gain a little independence. They are starting to perform basic actions on their own and making simple decisions about what they prefer. So by allowing the children to make choices and gain control, parents and caregivers at this stage can help them to have a sense of autonomy. For example, if you still remember during your time, or you see probably your little brother or sisters doing potty training, this is the essential theme of this stage, is that children need to develop a sense of personal control over physical skills. So what's the outcome? So you may ask, what's the outcome, Dr. Aziz? So the children who struggle and who are ashamed for their accidents, potty training, remember, may be left without a sense of personal control. Success during this stage of psychosocial development leads to feelings of autonomy. Failure results in feelings of shame and doubt. So when this is actually another important stage that's being carried to where you are now, stage 6. So now let's go through stage 3, initiative versus guilt. I'm sure on the slide you could actually see the age. Yeah. So the third stage of psychosocial development takes place during the preschool years. At this point in psychosocial development, children begin to assert their power and control over the world through directing play and other social interactions. So here you can see how children who are successful at this stage feel capable and able to lead others. Those who fail to acquire these skills are left with a sense of guilt, self-doubt, and lack of initiative. So what's the outcome again? Major theme of the third stage of psychosocial development is that children need to begin asserting control and power over their environment. Success in this stage leads to a sense of purpose. Yeah. Okay, now stage 4. We're getting closer to stage 6 now. Stage 4 is industry versus inferiority. The 4 psychosocial stages takes place during the early school years. Masa ni dah primary school lah, from approximately ages 5 to 11. Through social interactions, children begin to develop a sense of pride in their accomplishments and abilities. Children need to cope with new social and academic demands. So what's the outcome, you may ask? Children who are encouraged and commended by parents and teachers at this period develop a sense of competence and beliefs in their skills. So it is very important to successfully find a balance at this stage of psychosocial development that leads to the strength known as competence. Now we are getting closer. Identity versus confusion. I'm surely right at one stage You were looking out for, who am I? What's my identity? So you're confused. So this is the first stage during adolescence. Yeah. The fifth psychosocial stage takes place during the often turbulent teenage years. Well, you imagine I have passed that stage, but 3 years ago, imagine I had 3 teenagers with me in this house. So it was such a turbulent. But if you understand that this stage plays an essential role in developing sense of personal identity, which will continue to influence behavior and development for the rest of a person's life. So teens need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. Children explore their independence and develop a sense of self. So what is identity, you may ask? When psychologists talk about identity, they are referring to the belief system, the ideals, the values, yeah, that help shape and guide a person's behavior. Completing this stage successfully will lead to fidelity, which Arisa described as an ability to live by society standards and expectations. So, why is identity important for adolescents? Because our personal identity gives each of us an integrated and cohesive sense of self that endures through our lives. Our sense of personal identity is also shaped by our experiences and interactions with others. And it is this identity, Leroy, that helps guide your actions, your belief systems, and behavior as you go along. So now we have finally reached stage 6, intimacy versus isolations, where most of my students, you yourself, the university students are experiencing, young adults. So we're actually going to go slightly detailed in this, yeah. So young adults need to form intimate, yeah, loving relationships with other people. This is the time when you wanted to experiment. The keyword is experiment. Success leads to strong relationships, while failure results in loneliness and isolation. Remember what this is all about? This covers the period of early adulthood when people are exploring personal relationships. Senang cerita, this is the time when pak tor time nak cari girlfriend, cari boyfriend, this is the time. So Edison believed that it was vital that people develop close, committed relationships with other people. Those who are successful at this stage will form relationships that are enduring and secure. So remember that I've actually told you earlier that each step builds on skills learned in previous steps. Imagine if you do not have a strong sense of personal identity. So how are you going to relate, or how are you going to develop intimate relationships? When we talk about intimate relationships, it's not just about having a partner, you know what I'm saying? But it is also talking about not having that emotional isolation, that loneliness, and eventually depression. Okay, so next slide. All right. So we're actually going to discuss very briefly health issues of young adulthood. The major health problems of early adulthood are largely preventable. But however, like I've actually explained during the different stages, the psychosexual state, the psychosocial stages, you could actually understand these are basically resulting from them not being able to identify with themselves. So many problems are linked to behaviors and conditions with related outcomes, as you can read here. Okay, those with chronic conditions, including mental health disorder, must learn to manage these conditions with increasing interdependence. We're actually going to talk about mental health per se right after our break. Moving on. Okay, so this is what we're actually going to talk about: prevention, early intervention, clinical care. So this is what that young adults go through. Sexual health. I'm going to talk about that later. It's going to be quite interesting. Substance abuse. Remember what I said earlier. It's all about experimentation. When you want to find out, you want to know what it is, how it feels like. So experimentation is the key word in this stage. Yeah. So chronic illnesses, because once you do not know how to be emotionally, related to others, so you might experience this. Obesity, eating disorders, when you're actually frustrated, feeling stress, anxiety, and that may result to depressions. So the topic of today is basically mental health and well-being. So we are actually going to focus on that. Next, Leroy. Okay, so this is what I've actually gathered from my readings, and you can see that where you are now is at the stage 20 to 24 years. I'm also asking, I've actually requested for most of my my daughter's friends to actually join us. So they are in the stage of 15 to 19 years. So you could see that these two period of time, 15 up to 24 years old. So it is worrisome if you do not know how to actually understand. It is worrisome if you do not know how to be in charge of self. Yeah, and most of these have actually been recorded, that adolescents and also young adult experiencing self-inflicted injury, violence, alcohol abuse, bipolar disorder. Yeah, next. Okay, so this is mortality by cause, sex, by cause, that is also based on sex and age group. If you can see here that male have actually recorded more in terms of mortality rate. Let me just share with you. Interestingly, when if you compare the studies that compare between two, yeah, female and male, female may say that okay lah, I nak mati, I want to die, for example, but male may not say it as much. But when it comes to statistics have recorded that male have recorded a higher statistics in accordance if you compare to the female, yeah, female counterpart. Next, right? Okay, this is the most interesting part that I'm sure most of you wants to know about. Yeah, sexual health. The stage of adolescence and young adult is the time of sexual risk-taking. Remember, I kept telling that, and experimentation, but also about vulnerability. Sorry. Okay, my tongue got twisted. Young people may present to general physicians. If they go to visit a doctor, they may say that with systemic symptoms, but they may say that I'm actually not involved with sexual activity, although they have indicated they have that symptoms of STIs. So let me tell you what it is all about. Yeah, young people aged 15 to 24, like I said, adolescents and also young adults, represent only a quarter of the sexually active population, just a quarter. Yet they have almost half of all sexually transmitted infections. This is the highest. Okay, I mean half means they may, although it's just forming a quarter, but they contributed half of the STIs statistics out there. So let's take a look at which sexually transmitted infections affect youth most, and we're going to see the photos afterwards. I hope you just bear with me. Young people aged 15 to 19 account for 40% of chlamydia cases. So incidence and prevalence estimates suggest that young people aged 15 to 24 years acquire, like I said, half of all new STDs, and that 1 in 4 sexually active adolescent female has an STD. This is very worrisome. Let's have a look at the photos. Leroy, next. Okay, but before that, so I'm just going to show you the statistics in 2013. I'm sorry I didn't get the current one. So this is the statistics of HIV infection overall, yeah. So next, not just in Malaysia, but overall globally. So this is what I wanted to show you, the STI or STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. So we have chlamydia on the top right. You can see that is the cycle of how it works. And on next to chlamydia life cycle, the photo, the picture, you can see that is actually syphilis, one of the STD. Yeah, if you do not know what this is all about, what it is all about, so I'm actually practically showing you the pictures. And just underneath is actually gonorrhea. So when we talk about all these STDs, people thought that it might just affect your private parts. So no, it may attack the other parts of your body, especially like your eyes, your skin, and that eye, the one that you saw, the eye, right? That's also gonorrhea, form of gonorrhea. Next to it is herpes simplex. Next. I think you're going to be a bit shocked if you see the next photo. So what is this? This is HPV, okay? Human papillomavirus infection. This is also another new form of STD that is being, that I share with all of you. So you need to understand about your sexual health. You need to ask, because one thing about Malaysians is it's a taboo to discuss about sexual health. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, chronic conditions. Next. Do not think that this only affects the adults. That findings have indicated that most of the young adults have issues with obesity, alcoholism. What was that? I can't see. What's the slide? What does he say? All right, I can't see, tak nampak. Sorry, the slide is too small. All right, so it talks about, Leroy, can you read out for me? Okay, never mind. I can see here. Obesity, like I said, asthma, hypertension. Because when we talk about health or the prevalence of chronic conditions, they always associate, ala, I muda lagi, so it's not going to happen to me. Hypertension, if you see here, heart condition. So take care of yourself, because when you do not know how to take care of yourself, do not know how to understand your health, your well-being, this is the result of you not understanding how to care for self. All right. So diabetic, cancer, but the highest statistics is recorded is obesity. Yeah. Next. Okay. This is what we're actually going to talk about in a while, right after our breaks, when we are going to focus on the mental health and substance abuse. Like I said, during this experimentation period, most of the young adults that we have actually recorded statistics have been involved with substance abuse. Yeah, it's very worrisome that some of them, most of them that like I said, recorded here, have actually shown or indicated serious psychological distress. What is psychological distress? Okay, I'm going to talk about it later. When they have major depressive episode or symptom. Please do not say that, hey, I'm depressed, because I don't want to say do not say, but I have seen that young people nowadays, they use the term interchangeably. When they talk about stress, when they talk about anxiety, sometimes they say, hey, I'm actually depressed now, so leave me alone. Is that what you meant? Because it's connected. Okay, it's like law of attraction. What you think, you might get it, you may get it. So major depressive symptom of depression is actually part of a disorder. So it may be caused from stress, and that leads to anxiety, and then leads to acute anxiety, and then mild depressive symptom, and then you might have major depressive symptom. So try not to use the word I'm depressed. Okay, I'm stressed. Okay, stress is common. Anxiety is even common. So you need to validate that. But how long? Again, I'm going to talk about it right after our break. So next is the alcohol abuse or dependence on alcohol. So this is one thing, like I said, during this experimentation period where young adults would like to try. Again, the word is experiment. They want to know how it feels. They want to be, they're actually also looking for their identity. Yeah. So drug abuse dependence. Again, this is the time when they actually tried on all these pills, like the meth. Okay, so that's what they actually experience. Okay, next. Okay, what causes this? What leads to this? Basically, is the abrupt change at 18 years old. For example, you can see, Leroy, I'm sure you remember when you're in your secondary school, when you find that, from 14 years old, then you are in upper secondary, that is 15. So you can actually, if you can recall, that you could actually remember that you experience probably hormonal changes perhaps, and you also experience social interactions with, probably if you go into co-ed school, where at one time you only want to be involved with boys, but after that you have interest in girls. The opposite attracts, right? So imagine when you are 18, you are still considered as a child, and according to the Akta Kanak-Kanak, you're still considered a child according to Malaysia law, Akta Kanak-Kanak. But 19 years old, you're already young adults. So that is the abrupt change. That is the change that you probably most of the adolescents are not ready. We do not they are not prepared to actually go into, like I said that I've written that change in legal status. You can actually go and vote. Loss of eligibility for insurance, like my son, they are no longer under me when they want to go for medic, so you have to pay on your own. Limited models for transition to adult health care. So you see, these are all the little preparation for changes in systems for young adults and families that needs to be looked into. Okay, next. You right, next. Okay, unmet needs, not yet, belum break lagi, sabar. Unmet needs, that's the mental health. Past year treatment for mental health and substance abuse dependence problem among young adults indicated according to male and female, according to gender. So we can see, like I said, female statistically has shown that they are experiencing major depressive episode slightly more than the male, and they have also serious psychological stress compared to the male, and drug dependence, drug dengan alcohol, male actually is slightly more statistically. Yeah. So now, what we're going to do now, we're actually going to have a 10 minutes break. And after this, we are going to go into the best part, that is understanding your mental health. Thank you, Leroy.
Okay, welcome back everybody. So now we are in our 10 minutes break. So we are going to show you guys the special performance one of our committee has prepared for us today. And also we are going to do one part of the lucky draw. So we actually have a few prizes for today. We have 5 prizes in total. The grand prize is let me pull up the picture. The grand prize is actually this Halo GT1 wireless earbuds. It's actually right here. Okay, so this is the grand prize. We will pull this last, but for this break we are going to pull this cat plushie, and also we'll be pulling the winner for this set of 2 pens, not 6 pens, 2 pens and a notebook that is teamed together. So I actually have one of these pens with me. It's actually a Pentel Kawaii collection pen. It has very nice art on the pen. The ink and writings is also very nice, and you can buy replacement ink so you don't have to throw away your beautiful pen. Okay, so I think we will go on with the performance from my fellow committee Daryl and his friend. I think Candy is her name. So we shall see the performance now. Okay, hold on, guys. They have two songs. So that song was "Break My Heart Again" by Finesse. So we have another song which is called "Heater," and I'm going to play it right now.
I still remember the thought of December, me in your sweater. Said it looked better on me than it did you. Only if you knew how much I like you. But I watch her eyes as she walks by. What a sight for sore eyes, brighter than the blue sky. She's got human eyes, but I'm dying. Why won't you ever kiss me? I'm not even half as pretty. You gave her sweater, it's just polyester, but you like her better. Wish I would hear. Watch as I stand with her, holding your hand, put your arm around my shoulder. And I'm getting colder, but how could I hate her? She's such an angel, but then again, kinda wish you were dead as she walks by. What a sight for sore eyes, brighter than the blue sky. She's got humans, eyes, but I die. Why would you ever kiss me? I'm not even that pretty. Give her your sweater, it's just polyester, but you like it better. Wish I Why would you ever kiss me? I'm not even half as pretty. You gave her your sweater, just polyester, but you like it better. Wish I
Macam saya sidang tadi kan.
Okay, wasn't that a beautiful performance by our Vice Program Director? Don't you guys agree? Hey, thank you to Daryl and Cindy. I got her name wrong the first time. I called her Candy. Apologies on that. Her name is actually Cindy. So thank you to both of you for providing this amazing and wonderful performance for the event. I think it has really lightened up the event. I can see the chat going crazy over your performance. So congratulations, guys. I hope all of you at home can give a round of applause for their performance. I can't get any applause here because it's online. Okay, anyway, so now we are at the first part of what most of you guys are excited for. Or are you guys more excited for Dr. Aziz? Which one are you actually excited for? So for now, I will close the Google form because I will copy all the names in the Google form and then I'll put it in this wheel we have here. So if you are wanting to fill up the Google form for the name, you are too late now. But we'll have a second round later for another 3 prizes. So for now, the Google form is closed momentarily while I plug all these names into the random selector wheel thing. Okay. Hold on, give me a few seconds to copy everything here. I hope I can actually copy and put this in here. I haven't fully tested this, to be honest. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh god, there's a lot of names there. So there should be there should be 123 people signing up for this lucky draw. As you can see in the wheel, all the names are ineligible already. You can barely read them. So yes, the form is closed for now. Okay, do you guys want me to open it for another like 1 minute so any latecomers can join last second? Okay, I think I give chance lah. Okay, I've reopened the form. 1 minute from now. I don't have a second timer. I'll just feel in my heart 1 minute. Okay, so quick, latecomers, go and fill up the form quick for the lucky draw. Okay, you got 1 minute. I open up the form again. So yeah, while we wait, I hope all of you actually enjoyed the talk from Dr. Azzy. I am really nervous for this event actually because it's my first time really setting up multiple scenes for the live stream. And Dr. Azzy so far has done an amazing job. She's actually experiencing some video technical issues now, so I hope we can resolve that before we continue with the talk. So let's see, any more new names? 1 minute. Okay, has it been 1 minute? I did not actually take count. Go, repost the link. The link is in the pin message, guys. Just look at the chat there. If you can see, there's a pin message. But if you really want the link, I can post it for you. No problem. I got your back, man. Let me post it in the chat real quick. Okay, the link is there. Come on. I give you another 15 seconds. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and okay, I am closing the form now, and we are going to pull a name for this cat plushie. It's actually, I think it's a 50 cm cat plushie, like 50 cm tall, so it's pretty cute. You can hug it during your sleep. It is very comfy to use. Let's see if does the Google form update automatically. I just need to copy some names, and yes, I think we have a few more submissions. Okay guys, please chill out. I see a duplicate entry here. Please calm down. I know you want to win this lucky draw bet, but you don't need to fill it in twice, okay? It makes it unfair for everyone else that's joining. Okay, so let me just add a few more names in, and then we can begin this lucky draw. Okay, so you got 126 entries. Let me cross check with my spreadsheet. Wait, that is 128 here. Minus 127. Oh yes, one duplicate entry. Okay. So okay, let us spin the wheel then. Let's see who is the lucky winner for this cat plushie. Remember, if your name has been chosen, please WhatsApp or text the number on screen. Fatin Shahira, congratulations, you have won yourself a cat plushie. I think I know this Fatin Shahira. Might be someone else similarly named, but I think I know her. So please contact the number. It's actually my number, so just WhatsApp me in the next 10 minutes so I can confirm your win. If you do not contact me by then, I will unfortunately have to pull your pick out, and I have to re-roll this cat plushie, okay? So please do WhatsApp me or text me. SMS is cheap nowadays, so just drop me a message to confirm that you have won the thing, okay? So congratulations to Fatin Shahira Zamri, you have won yourself a cat plushie. We will discuss about shipping and everything else after this event, okay? So next we have one more. We are going to pull for this pen, 2 pieces of pen and a notebook that is Japanese theme, and I think they match pretty well together. I picked this with a few of my other committees. I think everyone agreed. So let us pull another name. So to everyone else that's watching, no, the same name will not appear again. The roll system automatically pulls it out. So we can now spin the wheel again and see who is the lucky winner. It is Nadia or Naim. Oh, Nadia binti Abdul Ghani. Okay, yeah, didn't see the name there. So Nadia binti Abdul Ghani, you have won yourself two pens from Pentel Kawaii and a Japanese team notebook. Okay, so please message the number on the screen right now so you can claim your prize. Okay, so we have another 3 prizes actually, which is a boba plushie. Or do you want normal boba? This actually, I think this costs more than a normal boba, so we are going to have one boba plushie up for grabs. It is 30 cm if I'm not mistaken, somewhere about there. I mean, you still can hug it, it's not as long as a bolster, but still huggable. No more pulls this break. We will put this at the end of the whole event. Okay, and then we got an Among Us plushies. You are getting 2 plushies, one is pink and one is purple. So who is the imposter? Up to you to decide or discover. Okay, then we got Among Us plushies, and last, the grand prize, we got a Halo GT1 wireless earbuds. These earbuds are actually very good for the price. I have them myself. You're not getting the white version. I accidentally bought the white version. They have really good sound. It's very clear. The bass is not too overpowering. It's a very good earbud. You don't need AirPod Pros. It's too expensive. Okay, so I guess we are done with the lucky draw. Let me go and arrange and set up everything for the next live stream. Remember, winners, remember to send me a message on WhatsApp to confirm that you have won the item. If any of their friends are here, please contact them so you remind them to PM me or something. Otherwise, I will have to re-roll those 2 prizes at the end of this event. Okay, I'll give you until 9:30 to PM me, okay, on WhatsApp. Alright, so please wait while we fix any technical issues that is happening now. We'll be back soon.
Boleh. You dengar I? You nampak I? Yeah.
Okay, welcome back, Dr. Aziz. Are you hyped up? Are you ready to continue your talk for tonight?
Yes, I can't wait. Thank you, Leroy. I was just excited as well, when I saw the what do you call that tadi tu?
Performance or lucky draw?
Yeah, the performances. My students were very happy. They were texting me and said the students are really good. Good job.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed the performance. I think they both did a good job with the instrument and their singing. Okay. So
Exactly.
without further ado, let us invite Dr. Aziz again to continue with her talk. Please, Dr. Aziz.
Okay. So I need the slides to be on. Leroy, can you put the slide up? I can't see it's moving. I can't see it moving. Okay. Yes. So, all right. So, welcome back, everybody. I'm sure you are already well entertained with the mental health. So we're now going to talk about mental health pula with the performances. Nampak mental health, sebut pun mental health. So these are the things that you experience during pandemic when sometimes you just don't know what you say, what you need, but you need to be aware. So let's talk about what mental health is all about and the key components of mental health. As you can see now, like what Leroy mentioned at the beginning of the session, when he says that this pandemic has caused them to be like not in total, but somehow in isolation, and it's difficult. He uses the word difficult to actually interact, and then to they face challenges when they're actually going to do this program. But so far, I have seen that he has done a wonderful job. So good job, Leroy. So okay, next slide, please. All right. So when we talk about mental health, what is mental health? People always say that mental health, they actually equate that to mental disorder. It is not, yeah? When we talk about mental health, it is about, or rather your well-being, we talk about the three main components. Do you know that all of you actually put on makeup every day? So do you know that you actually are wearing makeup? Tak kisahlah boys or girls, but do you know that? Yes, you do, because our psychological makeup, I like to call that, is made up of the ABC, air batu campur. That's why I always tell my students, air batu campur, but it's not really that. So what I meant by ABC is your affective. Affective stands, A stands for affective, not effective, A, affective. That is your emotions. B, behavior. C, cognitive. Okay, so what it is all about, the three main components that actually helps you understand yourself better. So when we talk about what you think, this is what I want to discuss today. Mental health is when you know about your cognition, the pattern, yeah, what you think. Thinking is a cognitive component of mental health. It is very important for you to recognize your thoughts, okay, the thought patterns, okay, and the thinking patterns, and to determine if they are reasonable for situation. For example, earlier, Candy, well, actually, Cindy, when you hear that Leroy calls you Candy, how does that make you feel? Are you going to be upset? Okay, so are you going to say, that's okay, it's just a slip of the tongue, so I'm going to move on? Or a friend, or in another case where a friend invites another friend to go to a movie. Do you think that's okay? Well, she can do that. So I'll know I'll get together another time. Your friends go to the movie without inviting you. You're definitely going to be upset, right? Or do you think you're going to say this instead? She's not my friend anymore. A real friend will always invite only me. Yeah. Therefore, it's very important to see how you respond to your thoughts. Do you let negativity or other damaging thoughts continue? Okay, continue, or do you actually stop them? For example, I'll just give you another example. If you think you've been slighted by a friend, do you go over and over in your mind that the friend is actually hurtful, creating all these hurtful behaviors towards you, disloyal, uncaring? Why does it matter? Because thoughts produce feelings in us. So how you think, the thinking patterns will affect how you feel. At the end of the day, it will be translated into your behavior. All right? So now, next slide, please, Leroy. So we're going to talk about another key component of mental health, like I said, feeling. That is your emotions. Feeling is the emotion or sensory component of mental health. Thoughts produce feelings. You need to understand that, yeah? Thinking the same thoughts over and over again in your mind will create feeling. So negative thoughts will create more negative feelings. Therefore, it is very important for you to understand positive thoughts will help you come out or create more positive feelings. Thus, it is very important for you to recognize your feelings. For example, let's just come up with an example. I am angry, I am upset, this total social isolation, right? What am I going to do about it? I'm upset. Life is no longer meaningful for me. Therefore, it is very important for you to understand where these feelings are coming from. It is from your thinking patterns or thought processes and how you interpret what's going to happen or what's happening around you. Therefore, it is very important for you to respond to your feelings. So sometimes we always say, before we go to bed, and then we'll start thinking, and we can't fall asleep, and we say that, alamak, a lot of things that is not done, and probably Leroy is probably worried last night and probably up to this morning. I'm sure after this, Leroy will have a good rest. Yeah, Leroy? So is it important? What I'm trying to say here is when you actually started or when you begin to overthink, so how does that makes you feel? So you feel that way, but is it right to feel this way? So that's another thing that you need to ask yourself. Ask yourself questions such as, is this a legitimate feeling that is appropriate for the situation? Okay, so when we talk about cognitive behavior therapy that I actually taught some of my students, not some, most of my students. So basically, we also talk about when you are upset. The human brain actually takes about 10 to 20 minutes for you to feel that kind of feeling, for you to react to that feeling. Okay, either you feel upset, either you feel angry, either you feel that whatever rush of emotions that comes through. Just allow yourself to experience that 10 to 20 minutes. Validate that feeling. There's nothing wrong with validation of feelings. Okay, just get it over and done with. But after that, what happened is, if you do not take care of yourself, you're actually creating this self-inflicting, or rather we call it self-defeating behavior, self-deprecating behavior, self-inflicted, where you are the one who is responsible for creating that to yourself. All right? So it is very important for you to understand the thoughts, feelings, and how it's going to be translated into your behavior. Next. Okay, so this is a slide that when I talk, remember about your psychological well-being, or rather psychological makeup, you can see that ABC, affective, behavior, and cognitive, but it all begins from thoughts, feelings, and behavior, and how it actually gives impact to your life. Since you were a young child, you realized that your behavior had consequences. I'm sure you know that. You touch a hot stove, what happened? You'll get your hands burnt. Okay? You disobeyed a rule. For example, like now, if you go out there to the supermarket and you did not put on your mask, what will happen? I remember yesterday I went to Bangunan Mara. I had they were actually shooting, having a shooting, not shooting as if shooting, yeah, I mean taking videos for their montage. And I remember going in the lift and everybody was staring at me with that kind of look. And I was like, why is everybody staring at me? I forgot to put on my mask. So you see, communication is also very important, right? But what if, without me realizing, I step out of the lift, I go to the car, but before I reach my car, the car park, I have to go through like about 100 meters that I have to pass through a lot of shops. So what if there is a police there? I will be fined 1,000 ringgit, which is not worth it. So we do not disobey a rule, and we are taught to be disciplined. So it's also important to also realize that there are consequences to the way you think and the way you feel. So that is why you need to understand that only you can be responsible to the behaviors, okay, to your thought processes, to the feelings that you might have. Okay, next, Leroy. So why is mental health so important? So here are just a few reasons. Okay, I think it is important. I believe because it affects your relationships with others. Mental health problems lead to new problems with friends, your family, law enforcement, or school officials. Okay, you are in Unit 10, you have to abide by their rules. My students from OUM and also University of Malaya, you need to abide by the rules of the universities. So it affects how you learn. So mental health is also very important because it affects how you learn in terms of your attentiveness, your concentration, your classroom conduct, how you actually behave in class, okay? How you actually behave in a group of students when you're doing assignment. Are you going to be upset when one of your friends came late and you actually said that it has to begin at 8:30, but it started at 9 because your friend is late? Are you going to be upset? Or are you going to try to understand? So your ability to organize and also going to affect your ability to communicate with others. Next, why mental health is also very important, because it can lead to other problems such as, like I said earlier, experimentation. When you remember, if you can recall the stages I've actually talked to you about or shared with you, the stages, especially stage 5 and 6, where you wanted to experiment with a lot of things out there. Experimenting with drugs, alcohol, sexually promiscuous. Ini maksud dia seks bebas, ya. This is when you can see statistically it has shown that we have a large number of children born out of wedlock, premarital sex. Yeah, so being hostile and aggressive. Okay, so this is when my friend, a dear friend of mine, shared to me about this era of jambu batu and the strawberry. So when she actually classified that now the young adults are the era of the strawberry. Yeah. So I will talk about that later. So taking risk in behavior. So mental health is very important for you to actually understand. Is it worth it? Is it worthwhile? Yeah. Next. Okay. So what can you do to help protect your mental health? I am sure you know all this. Eat healthily, exercise adequately, care for your health daily. I'm sure you can read that. Sleep bountifully. But at this point of time, if you are staying alone, okay, if you are staying alone, you're having difficulties in life at times, you can't sleep well. You might experience amnesia. You might experience a lot of things, overthinking. So how do you learn to manage your stress diligently? I'm going to share with you in a bit. Okay, next. Okay, what can you do again to help protect your mental health? Play, learn to do something new and fun. So say no sometimes. Okay, I'm not going to read all of that, but say no sometimes. Most of us just do not know how to say no. Most of us, when your people says that we are all human beings. We wanted to be good all the time. We wanted to do good. So at times, in order for you to take care of yourself, self-care, you need to know when to say no. Yeah. Okay. If you have a lot of things on your plate, a lot of assignments, for example, a lot of things that you need to settle. So it is good for you if you know when to say no. Say, look, I don't mind helping you, but maybe not now. So don't overbook your schedule or don't overbook your life. Trying to make space for others, but not for yourself. Okay, this is also a good reminder for me. Okay, make time for quiet, turn off the cell phone, TV. So after this, we're just going to have that. We're going to watch movie. So it's movie night tonight. Sometimes it's also good for you to keep a diary or journaling. If you do journaling, that's the best way for you to actually express your emotions, for you to let go, for you to achieve catharsis. What is catharsis? Catharsis is a release of emotion. When you feel good, sometimes you just don't want to talk to anybody, but you feel that by writing, by expressing yourself, one way of how what I like to do is sing. Okay, I love singing. Well, I think Leroy heard me singing, so he was asking, Dr. Azzi nak perform ke after this? I said, no need lah. It's just for me to find, manage my own stress. Yeah, next. Okay, so what can you do to, again, help protect your mental health? So this is very critical. Remember your psychological makeup when I told you about ABC, cognitive, affective feelings or emotions that will be translated into your behavior. That's your action. So you need to always practice stress management and other self-care strategies throughout life. So know when and where to get help. So it is very important for you to ask for help. People usually am so embarrassed and they would say that I don't want to ask help from others, not because that I don't want to, but because I think I can manage. I don't want because I know that these people also have issues in their life. The one thing that we need to do is do not be embarrassed to ask or seek help. Get help as soon as you suspect you need it. We have counselors out there. Okay, the one thing about our profession that is misunderstood is when they think when you talk to a counselor, you have mental disorder. When you talk to a counselor, you are a crazy person. That is just not true. What we are doing is to allow you to actually achieve catharsis. Like I said, release of emotions. Most of the times what we do is just listen. Okay. And I do believe that try and get help, because sometimes you just don't feel like, hey, you can trust your own friends because something is very sensitive. Yeah. So get help from a trained counselor. All right. Or medical referral. Next. Okay, this is the part that I think I want to talk in detail. So again, what is mental health? So mental health is cognitively. Okay, so this is when I'm going to teach you. This is like a training, yeah, Leroy. So what we do in counseling, where we teach or train our client to do this, to understand the ABC. Remember ABC? But this ABC is not your psychological makeup, yeah. ABC here stands for antecedent, the behavior, and also the consequence. So what is the antecedent? What is antecedent? Bukan accident. What is antecedent? What happens before that behavior occurs? What's the cause? What's the presenting problem? What's the issue? So that is the thing that we really want to find out. So this is actually the function of a behavior, where it's determined by the consequences that follows the behavior. So now, if we know why Leroy, I'm sorry lah, I have to use you, okay. Leroy is my client. So why do we, okay, for now, why Leroy is upset? So when Leroy is angry, okay, how will the behavior be like? So he will make more mistakes. This live stream will take longer, or rather it will begin later because he makes mistake. That will be translated into behavior. And consequences, what happens immediately after the behavior? Consequences there. So we will feel the antecedent is because he slept late last night, so he got up at 8:15. Okay, so that's the antecedent behavior. So he gets, so the behavior is when he translated it into yelah dah lambat kan, so buat kerja pun lambat, and then more mistakes being done, consequences, so he's upset, anxious and all that. If you understand what's the cause, then you could, like macam tadi, when I was with Leroy, although I know that he was he was actually a very calm person, I can say that. But he kept telling me, tak Azzi, kejap alamak, this is the time. He used the word, alamak, this is the time lah, nak ada glitches pula. I kept telling him, it's okay, take your time, I'm okay. But if you have someone who says, apa benda ni? I thought you were an expert. Leroy, you should be an expert. How can this happen? What will happen to Leroy? So it creates more mistake for him. So it'll start longer. But he managed to do it like a few minutes later. That's very good. Let me just give you another example. How to handle stress. How do you look at yourself, your life, and the people in your life, yeah? For example, how you relate to others, how you evaluate your options and make choices. When you're upset, I'll just give you an example. If someone is upset and someone in this pandemic is staying alone, for example, yeah, and consequences of the behavior is he might feel that he's upset, sometimes confused, sometimes angry, but most of the time feeling just empty. Okay, so at the end of the day, remember when I told you earlier about cognitive, when you actually can validate that feeling. Okay, it's good that you validate that feeling of emptiness, of loneliness, but how long are you going to allow yourself thinking about that? Because cognitively, your brain can only register that from 10 to 20 minutes. Are you going to drag it longer? Tu yang jadi overthinking tadi tu. If you drag it longer. So are you going to say, stop now. I know this is what I'm facing, but what am I going to do about it? Ni yang katanya perkataan empower tadi. Ini pun saya dapat dari kawan saya ni. Very good when he taught me. Power to act, power to think, power within, power with. So I love when she explains to me power to act. When you take responsibility of your life, what is it going to do? What is it going to be? You decide, because only you can make changes in your life. We can just guide, but at the end of the day, it's always you. So how do you make decision is actually very important. Again, like I said, cognitively, we only focus for the anger, sadness for up to 20 minutes. Afterwards, if you still focus on it, it is known as self-deprecating or self-inflicted. So take a breather, chill, and move on. It's easier said than done. True, it's easier said than done. That's why we need to practice. Practice makes perfect. Okay, we need to train the brain. And another thing that a friend of mine just shared with me when she said that, Aziz, remember when we're upset, laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. That's what Reader's Digest kept telling us, right? Laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is a therapy. So she taught me just doing ha 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 ha, and I tried. Even now when I do that, I wanted to giggle. You tricked your brain into coming out, or rather excreting all these positive hormones. Do you know that in our body we have a dose of happiness, that we could actually release the hormones of happiness? Dose: dopamine, D, dopamine; O, oxytocin; S, serotonin; and E, endorphins. Okay, we can actually trick our brain. All right. So importance of sense of self. When we talked about all this, you need to also understand the self-empowerment. What is self-empowerment? Okay, we'll talk about that later. So importance of sense of self is things learned during early stages of development. Also, remember I told you earlier, play a role in being able to have healthy adult relationships. So probably you may think that, okay, now I understand. Okay, Dr. Aziz have explained. Now I understand that who I am today is probably because the result of my past. But are you going to just blame that? Or are you going to take actions on how best you are going to change? For example, my own daughter, she's going to sit for her SPM. She's concerned about exams. So I told her, and a few subjects. Okay, I told her, what are you going to do now? Okay, you're going to have another 1 month plus until your SPM RSM, the trial. Okay, so what are you going to do about now? Act upon it. If you kept on worrying, what's going to happen? Well, she's not worried lah, but mommy worries more, right? So what I'm trying to explain here is when you have a full formed sense of self, which is established during the previous identity versus role confusion stage, it was essential to being able to form intimate relationships where you are now. Okay? I'm sorry, my fingers keep bergerak-gerak ni because I'm imagining that I'm in a lecture. So people with a poor sense of self tend to have less committed relationships and are more likely to experience emotional isolations, loneliness, and depression. So if you do not have that during your younger period or the stages before that, are you going to blame that for who you are today? No. Remember I told you, only you can make changes. So be the agent of change. Yeah. Such, I would also like to say that probably it can suggest of what I'm trying to say here is having a strong sense of who you are is actually very vital for developing lasting future relationships. Self-awareness, remember, self-awareness is very important. It can play a role in the type of relationships you forge, as well as the strength and durability of those social connections. Why do I emphasize so much on social connectivity? Because we are all social beings. We like to be connected. We have technology, and probably you're bored with technology. So do something about it. What else can you do to be in touch with others? Yeah? Okay, next slide, please. This is also very important for you to understand on how do you need to take care of your emotional health. Let's talk about emotion, because thinking will affect your emotions and it will be translated into behavior. At the end of the day, it's all boxed down to thoughts and feelings. Okay, boundaries. I'm just going to focus on the emotional boundaries. We have a lot here: personal, emotional, mental, material, physical, spiritual. Next, please. Okay, emotional boundaries, I think you can read here on your own, but I'm just going to summarize. Yeah, respect the feeling of yourself. This is when you do self-care and of others. Most people understand that it is inappropriate to hurt feeling of others. So Leroy, let me ask you a question. You have to answer me. What is love? How do you define love?
Love, eh? This is a topic I am
Yes.
not very professional in.
It's okay, but what is love?
For me, I think love is a feeling when two people either opposite or same gender boleh are
Boleh lah
attracted to
sekarang.
each other, and they
Okay.
have a common feeling for each other lah, and that's when they want to like spend time with each other, want to share their experiences with each other, and want to be happy with each other in general.
Oh, okay,
That's as
okay.
far as I
But
can
you
explain.
but you kept using the word they. Try and change that to I.
Or for me, I love my mother and my father.
Okay, great. It's very important to understand what love is. When we talk about love, generally we talk about loving others. But what about yourself, Leroy? So that is the emotional health that we are talking about, yeah? Because we are Malaysians. Okay, we are collectivistic compared to individualistic. Compared to US, yeah, US is individualistic. We can say that, but we live in a collectivist kind of culture where we give all our love semua dekat orang. But what about us? We forgot about you, Okay? So you need to understand that you need to take care of yourself. Keeping yourself from becoming too emotional with strangers and acquaintances is also part of healthy emotional boundaries so that you're not involved. So when you're upset, you can just, okay, put it aside. So one thing that I've been practicing since I was very young, issues with someone or someone have issues with me, I'll just talk about it for a while because I am the type A personality, so I just need to let out. But after that, disengage. Remember self-defeating behavior earlier? So you do not want to be engaged in this kind of behavior. Yeah. So at the end of the day, emotional boundaries come down to respect. Okay, it is easiest to hold emotional boundaries face to face. If you say something hurtful in person, you can read the sadness on the other person's face and right or wrong. Online conversations make it difficult to keep emotional boundaries. So one thing about me is sometimes because I don't really like to WhatsApp, I'll use voice note. Why? Because people hear my voice, they understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So next, Leroy. You have to remind me, otherwise I'll be lecturing lambat pula. Examples of healthy emotional boundaries. So this is what we have. Stay out of other people's emotional drama. Do not get entangled. Let them be. Okay. Do not be entangled. Being able to say no, I think you know that. Sharing emotional information. Okay, I think you also know that. Okay, this one I need to explain. Sharing emotional information appropriately. Do not overshare. And it's also good not to withhold. It's good for you to actually practice disclosure. But to whom do you tell your stories? You need to be very careful. Carefully choosing words when communicating electronically. That's why I said I like to use voice note. Because if I type, I might type it differently. And my friends probably think I'm annoying because I use voice note. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. Writing perhaps met differently. Yeah. Next. Engaging young adult through empowerment. Finally, we're here. So what is self-empowerment, Leroy? It's actually taking control of your own life, setting goals and making positive choices. Basically, it means that we have to understand our strengths and weaknesses and have belief in ourselves. So it comes from the word power tadi. Power to act, power with, power within. Yeah. So this is what I like about self-empowerment. All right. So when you actually allow yourself to take control of your own life, sometimes you are so worried of making change, making progress. You're always worried that people might say something. This is when you cannot put muzzle on the people's mouth, right? You can't do that, right? So just go on as long as whatever you're doing is the right thing. Move on. Don't let people define you. create your own definition of yourself and set your own what? Goals. Okay, next. Okay, we're nearing to the end. So these are the quotes that I've actually come up with. What mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversation. So that is the actress Glenn Close. Anything that human is mentionable. Anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. When we can talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary. So it is good for you to actually share your feelings, yeah? Do not keep it inside, because at the end of the day, you will. If you do not know how to handle yourself, you may fall sick. So if you feel that you can handle it, why not? If you don't, go and talk to someone, okay? If we start being honest about our pain, our anger, and our shortcomings, instead of pretending that, hey, they don't exist, that, hey, I'm okay, then maybe you leave the world a better place than you found it, yeah? Don't let your struggle become your identity. That's what's happening most of the time, when we allow struggles to become our identity, when we worry so much about it. And finally, I did say here, if you can click on the knee, does it go? Okay, if it doesn't, it's okay. While we are panicking over COVID-19, or rather I'll say this, while we are panicking about COVID-19, Mother Earth is healing. So that is my direct quote. While we are panicking about COVID-19, Mother Earth is healing. So what does that has to say? While we are thinking about our pain, yeah, if we could focus on something else, we could heal. So next. You're right. Therefore, remember I told you that it is very important for you to understand that you have choices in life. You need to be responsible. So this is when in the morning, I always get up and self-affirmation words that I will always tell myself. The one word that, the affirmation words that I like to say is, if it is to be, it is up to me. So these are also the things that I like to say, where I choose to live by choice, not by chance. I choose to do whatever that I want to do, okay? To make changes, not excuses, all right? Make changes, not excuses. To be motivated and not manipulated. To be useful, not used. To excel, not to compete. I do not believe in competition that kills each other or manipulate. I believe in, if you want to be excellent, you bring all your friends up together. I choose self-esteem, not self-pity. I choose to listen to my inner voice, not the random opinion of others. I choose to be me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. That was a wonderful talk and a wonderful ending.
Thank you so much.
So I think now we can have a few questions. Are you okay with answering a few questions, Doctor?
Oh, sure, no worries. Jom.
Okay, can.
Ready with my
Let me see which question. There are quite a few questions here. Let me get the questions. Quite a few questions. How many questions you want to answer tonight, madam?
Tak apa, boleh je. I'm in the mood because I'm
Okay,
happy.
let's go with the first question we saw just now. So Hermit Panda official asks, how do we overcome the burnout feeling? The feeling of burnout, like from work, from studying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, apa tadi, Hermit Hermit Panda.
Yes.
Nice name. That's cute. Okay. All right. So remember I told you about empowerment. I'm just going to share with you what I've learned recently too. Yeah. So we all know that empowerment is making choices, making life choices in life. Okay. But we also talked about the word power earlier. Remember I told you that? When we talk about power over, power to, power with, power within. Okay. So I would like to remind you that you have choices. When you talk about burnout, so what do you mean by burnout? What happened? What we do not usually ask why, yeah. But what leads to burnout? And how do you feel when you experience that? Okay, so you need to take actions. You need to be responsible. You just need to understand that, hey, we all have limits. So like I said, if you have too much on your plate, learn to say no. Okay, if you have a lot of things that you need to do, plan. Okay, so remember we talked about plan earlier. When we talk about plan, it also involves SMART goals, setting goals. For example, if you're asked about burnout, I can say that I probably may experience the same thing, because 24/7, except for the time I'm sleeping, I worked non-stop. You can actually define me, or not define me, sorry, but you can actually call me as, am I a workaholic, or do I choose to make changes and not excuses? Because I've been writing books, I've been doing a lot of things, I'm also a mom, but I plan. So for the day, I prioritize. What am I supposed to do today? So which is very important, that needs to be settled first. So whatever small changes that I achieve, for example, today I told myself I'm going to write a draft of book chapter. So I did just that within 3.5 hours. Well, it's just a draft. What did I do after that? It's an accomplishment for me. So then I reward myself. So what do you do to yourself? Do you do that? Do you reward yourself? Do you actually chillax and go to the kitchen and make your dalgona coffee? So how do you actually congratulate yourself? So at the end of the day, you have to prioritize. You need to plan, set measurable, set goals. M is for measurable. Can you actually complete it all in one day? Or if you can't, so what are you going to do about it? Attainable, timeliness. Again, that is priority lah. Then of course it needs to be realistic. Okay. And again, power tadi kan. What can you do about it? Power to act. So what can you do about it? So if you feel burnout, so what are you going to do about it? You're not happy. You definitely, when you experience burnout, then sometimes you feel very lethargic. You can't sleep. Maybe these are some of the symptoms. But you need to plan and do things. Like I said, when you plan, then always reward yourself. Do not forget ever to take care of yourself. Self-care is very important. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Doctor, for the wonderful explanation. Okay, let's see if we have another question or not. Sorry, audience, I heard my mic there was a bit of buzzing and background noise.
Yep.
I didn't expected that, but sorry for that. After this, I'll mute my mic when she's explaining. Okay, next question. Let's see. Do you think, I think you can do this quite quick. Jalila Rahim asks, why is it sometimes difficult to say no?
Okay. Like I said, we are all social beings, yeah? We wanted to look good in the eyes of others. It's difficult for me to say no to, although I'm a counselor. It's difficult for me to say, no, Helmi, I cannot do this because your Madam Fanin Farina, if you're listening, ask me, Kak Aziz, can you help me with the students? It's difficult for me to say no to, but because I felt responsible. So perhaps you actually experiencing that. You felt responsible. You want to contribute more. But if you feel that you can do it, why not? If you feel that you can spare the time, why not? But you feel that it's going to be a burden to you, if you feel that it's going to take a toll on your health, remember, your health is very critical. So if it's too much, then you need to explain. I have difficulties too when explaining to my bosses that here I can't do this. Yelah kan, dekan, professors takut, right? So, but if you could actually list out, probably you can list out what are your the things that you are doing, or or rather the things that you're actually facing, then you can explain. Remember, I just want to share with the audience out there, remember the issues, the problems that we all have now is due to relationship issues, also ineffective communication. All right. So practice on communication. Okay, inshallah. Thank you, Leroy. I
Thank you
hope
for
that answers again.
Are you still okay with another 2 questions? Or
Boleh, Leroy. Don't worry.
today,
Like I
or
said, I'm happy.
Dr. Aziz very
Don't worry.
generous today. Yesterday we were like, I think 2 question, 1 question enough. Today should semangat.
No, okay, sorry. Yesterday, just let me explain. Yesterday, I had a full day. I came back at 8:30 and then I called Leroy, okay, come, let's do this because I usually sleep at 9:30. This is already past my bedtime. But like I said, I'm happy. So go ahead. Berapa question pun boleh. Come.
Okay, so we got one from Raymond Thomas. Firstly, he thanks you for the
Raymond.
wonderful session today lah. Okay, he says thanks.
Thank you, Raymond.
And his question is, how do we combat non-stop overthinking and feeling of hopelessness effectively?
Okay, how do we combat overthinking?
Yeah, non-stop overthinking and the feeling of hopelessness effectively. How do we combat that effectively?
Okay. Thank you, Raymond, for the very good question. I'm sure overthinking, that's what we all do. That's what most of us are good at, overthink. Sometimes I experience those feelings too, yeah, that kind of behavior too. So how does that makes you feel when you overthink? So I'm actually
Are you asking me, doctor?
No. I'm allowing
Oh.
Raymond to be aware of his feelings right now. It's like I'm talking to Raymond now. Okay, Raymond, how do you feel when you overthink? You must feel tired at times. You may sometimes feel confused. At times you felt angry with yourself because you just don't know where it may lead or might lead you to. So at the end of the day, remember when I told you cognitively, the brain only listens to all this for up to 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes, Raymond. Allow yourself to just bask in that emotion for 20 minutes, not more than that. Okay, and after that, this is when I say you need to practice, because otherwise if you do not practice, it will be carried. It's like apa orang kata tu, a burden or baggage, yeah, where you have to carry it for the entire time, that if you still keep on overthinking. So you need to understand that 20 minutes is very crucial, or rather that 20 minutes you validate that feelings. Yeah, you rasa penat. Yeah, you rasa marah. Yeah, you rasa whatever it is that you are thinking. Yeah. But after that, are you going to allow that to keep on going? Are you going to still allow that feeling to affect your beauty sleep? For example, are you going to allow that kind of thinking affecting your relationship with others? Or are you going to act upon it? Are you going to change your mindset? Are you going to take charge of yourself? Are you going to decide what is good for me? You have to understand, yeah, according to Prochaska, change. Okay, change is a process. So let's be the agent of change. Let me just tell you that are 5 stages of change. Yeah? First, when you are having this pre-contemplation, you're not aware that you need to do it. Now that you're actually with me, I hope that you're already aware that our brain can be tricked, okay, into just, 20 minutes, not tricked. Actually, our brain just accept for 20 minutes. We have to actually learn to be objective. Pre-contemplation, you're not aware. Next is contemplation, when you're aware, but are you willing to make that change? Are you willing? Okay. And then pre-contemplation, contemplation, prepare. Are you going to prepare to make change? Are you going to do the actions? What are you going to do about it? And finally, maintenance. Maintenance is actually the most difficult things to do. Like, for example, we deal with drug addicts. So they will usually relapse. Yeah. They will usually, I don't like to call them drug addicts lah. Just abusers maybe pun saya tak berapa gemar, because I deal with this population. Yeah. So when you understand this, the change, it takes time. So now that you are aware, now that you know that your brain only allows that kind of thinking up to 20 minutes, so what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? So you think about it, yeah? Apa lagi satu tadi? Feeling of apa? Tak ingat dah tulis tapi tak ingat.
Feeling of hopelessness.
Hopelessness. Iyalah, sama lah tu related. Yeah. If you keep on experiencing this overthinking, if you keep on thinking about negative or rather irrational, you're having this irrational belief system. Yeah. So you will at the end of the day feel hopeless. Okay. Hopelessness. You need to do you need help, but you don't know where to go, and sometimes you feel like there's no point living. So that is the thing that you need to be very aware. For us counselors, when they talk about I can't do this anymore, just a general thing, I can't do this anymore, we are already on the alert. Okay, so but I hope that you are aware, that you know now that you can act upon it. And another thing that I just want to share with you is power with, or rather power within. That is the knowledge that you have. You have already gotten the knowledge today. What are you going to do about it? If you want to know more, you can actually look under cognitive behavioral therapy, then you can read it out. Yeah. Okay. So knowledge is very important. So if you know that hopelessness or that kind of feeling will actually make you tired, and then you can actually experience burnout, what are the actions that you're going to do? Yeah. So in our brain, in our mind, in our head lah, I would like to say that we have this thing called engineer. That's why this engineer, IR kan stand for insigne. Senior, betul ke pronunciation saya tu? Kalau salah jangan marah ya. Insigne, whatever you called it. So that engineer, IR, that creates that irrational belief thinking or irrational belief system that IR needs to be shocked and get rid of, or rather get rid out of your mind. So tinggalkan that rational belief system. Okay. Sometimes we also have these negative automated thoughts. That's also in us. When I look at Leroy, now Leroy, I'm looking at him, but he's not looking at me. So how would that makes me feel? I feel like, alah, Leroy tak suka saya lah, tu tak pandang saya. That is your negative automated thoughts. But if you train yourself, oh, Leroy lupa pakai spec, or he cannot see me, although he's looking at me, but he doesn't even smile at me, or dia tak pakai spec. So do not have that. Try to erase that. That engineer in the mind needs to be chopped off lah. Okay. Thank you. I hope that answers you.
Okay, so sorry madam. My camera is like off axis, that's why tak pandang. Selalu pandang screen komputer.
I'm just giving example.
I know. Takut ada yang tak faham. Because my computer is here and the camera is like over here.
Okay. Alright, no worries.
Okay, madam, I have a request. Would you like to host the last lucky draw as well? Madam nampak doctor look very energetic tonight. I think you can help
saya
host.
sangat energetic if I'm actually doing
Okay, sure.
okay, saya boleh.
Okay lah, I think we shall move to the final lucky draw. Otherwise, I scared everyone going to sleep now. It's already 10 kan? For some people bedtime already. Okay, let's switch to
I'm
the
worried
lucky draw.
I fall asleep.
Okay. So, okay, we have the lucky draw here. I'm going to close the Google form now lah. Or should I give another few minutes? I think you
The
guys
slide
have.
will start.
I think you guys have had enough time to fill up the form with it. I'll just close it now, and then I can add the final names, and we can roll for the next winner. Okay. So now we are going to push the boba plushie. Yes, we are going to be rolling for the boba plushie. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think got no more addition. Let me refresh, double confirm first. Actually, now we have like 152 entries. That's actually a lot of people. I didn't expect this much audience. I think because you came, Dr. Aziz, then everyone also excited to come into the stream tonight.
Thank you.
I'm quite happy we managed to break the 100 viewer mark lah. Like right now live we have 121 people watching us.
That's wonderful. Good job. Actually, practically told my students, you better join. But I'm very excited with whatever you're doing now. This is a very good platform for my students to learn to.
Okay. So, let's spin the wheel and see who wins this boba plushie. So I'm not sure if the viewers or doctor you have noticed, like most of our gifts here is like related to mental health. Like it helps you deal with stress and everything. Like plushie boleh peluk, the books and the
Ah,
pen can write the name. And yeah, we have a winner here. Go Wan Eun,
okay.
congratulations. Let's clap for her.
I clap for you, yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you, doctor. Okay, so for Go Wan Eun, please message me. The number is down mana? Down here. So please message the number in the next 10 minutes so I can confirm that you have won the boba plushie. Okay. Okay, moving on. Let's go with the Among Us plushie. I think this one there is quite a number of people that wants this, because I'm not sure if you heard of Among Us, Dr. Aziz. It's quite a famous game recently.
No.
I think you should try it out sometimes. Boleh
Okay, I will.
release
I
stress
will.
dengan kawan.
Boleh with my daughter lah and my boys.
Can. Okay, so let's spin the wheel for this prize.
Alright, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think we put in some background music lah, then tak bosan sangat.
Okay, go ahead, Leroy.
Okay, we have a winner. Edwin Ng, anak laki Pafnamatan. I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong in any way. So yes, Edwin Ng, please message me on WhatsApp. You have managed to won yourself the Among Us plushie. Congratulations.
Wow.
I hope you're not an
Congratulations.
imposter. Yeah, basically imposter is the bad guy in the game like that. And so
I
the time,
see.
yeah, we try
Okay.
to beat the imposter.
I see.
Okay, so Among Us
Thank you.
plushie, you have won yourself 2 units. And okay, lastly, the final prize, the Halo GT1 wireless earbuds. This one,
That's the best.
yeah, a lot of people actually want this. If you don't win, I'm just saying you can actually just get this online. It's not too expensive. So in case you want to feel the freeness of having no wires, yeah, you can pick this up. It's not too expensive. Okay, so we are spinning. Let's see who is the luckiest winner tonight. And Hoshan, Faris, Muhammad Faris Haikal bin Osman. Okay. Muhammad Faris Haikal bin Osman, you are the lucky winner for the earbuds tonight. So please, for all of the 3 winners, please message me. My number is right there, so I can confirm that you have won this. Maybe you can screenshot that your name has been chosen, and then you can message me, and then we will deal with the shipping and everything else. Okay. Okay. Don't forget to message me, guys. Okay, so that's the end of the lucky draw. We don't have any more prizes left. Okay lah. So thank you so much, Dr. Aziz, for tonight.
No worries.
For your time.
Thank you
tonight.
for inviting. Thank you
Yes,
for
no problem.
inviting me.
Okay.
I really love working with you, Leroy. And
thank
excuse my almari from yesterday. I've been telling Leroy.
It's okay. Your almari is still a much cleaner background than my background.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay.
The audience.
Actually, there were a few other questions in the chat lah, but I don't want to bring them to you tonight. I think everyone might be a bit tired. So where can they contact you? If
They can always,
in case they want to ask you anything or invite them as a speaker at their next event.
Okay, you can email me at azy_mn@um.edu.my. Okay. Or you can call me, but you ask my number from Leroy.
Okay, can. Do you have like social media pages? Facebook ke?
Oh, I have Facebook. Azzy Muhammad Noor. AZY Muhammad MOHAMAD space NOR. Azzy Muhammad Noor.
Okay. So that's how they can contact you lah, either through the email or
Sure.
through FB lah.
But if you contact me via FB, if you don't introduce yourself, you actually via Unit 10 through this talk, I won't accept.
Okay. So guys, make sure manners. Please have your manners with you and introduce
No,
yourself
because
politely lah.
sometimes we have imposters as well, right? So very concerned about that. Okay.
So thank you
Thank
very much,
you.
Dr. Aziz. I am very happy you have managed to join us today. Once again, I would like to thank everyone that has come to watch the live stream tonight. I know it's a Saturday night. Some of you maybe want to spend time with your families, or some of you might be doing other stuff. But thank you so much for coming here tonight. And thank you, Dr. Aziz, for spending time with us tonight. Once again, thank you very much. Also,
Okay,
once
bye,
again,
Leroy.
thank you to all the committees that has helped plan this event. Okay, so as a final say, goodbye to everyone. We will see you in the next event. This is from us, from ULIT, Unit 10 and YTN. Any last words, Dr. Aziz?
Actually, I just want to wish all of you well, and I am actually very impressed because this is, according to Leroy, this is the first session, yeah.
First and last, something like that.
First and last, I think you should continue with this good effort,
Yeah,
because
we'll see
this
if there is more
yeah.
permintaan from the
Yeah,
higher
I think
listeners.
you should, because this is very interesting, and I like it that you actually have lucky draws and it makes people entertained, and also the performances that was conducted, that was very good. I also would like to thank everybody out there. Remember, take care of your mental health. Mental well-being is actually very important. If you understand how to care for self, prioritize yourself, and inshallah you will be okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, actually I wanted to say something tapi dah lupa lah. It's okay lah.
Huh?
I forgot what I wanted to say tadi. It's okay lah. So okay, that's all from us. Good night everyone. Oh yes, now it's midterm season again for Unit 10 students. So good luck in your test, everyone. Okay.